Yes, Marcel, we are in the West Rand in Bekkersdal, and in fact Bekkersdal is one of those townships like Alexandra that continue to complain about service delivery. And what you're seeing right now is basically a march by these residents. In fact, they started their protest in the early hours of this morning. We understand that, of course, there's already been an engagement between the residents and the police where rubber bullets and stun grenades had to be fired in order to disperse residents that were barricading and blocking roads. Now, at this stage, we understand that the residents say that they have applied to march to the municipality offices here in Western area, and their complaint basically is exactly what we've been hearing from townships like Bekkersdal around service delivery, and their main issue is electricity supply. They're saying that 25 years into democracy, they don't have a stable electricity supply, and they constantly now and then have to basically have days on end of load shedding, and we know how that situation goes. Now, a bit earlier on, we did see them engaging with police around whether they do have the certificate for the march. In fact, it seemed the police didn't want them to carry on much further. We are on the R28, and it does seem like the police presence has certainly increased. We do have a police Nyala on scene. We see now that the police are getting ready to basically block them from going any further. I am driving the vehicle that we're in. I'm going to try and stop now and get out of the car and allow my cameraman as well to get off the bakkie. We understand that the police don't want them to get any much further than this, and as you can see, the police in Nyala is now already blocking the road. We are now going to just get a bit closer, and I'm going to try and get one of the protest leaders to come and engage us. The police were telling them that they wanted them to produce the certificates that was going to allow them to be able to march to the municipality's offices. I'm going to ask Sidiso Monare to just come and engage us on this protest. Sidiso, thank you for joining us this morning. You guys have embarked on a protest. I just want to get clarity on whether has this been sparked by what you saw in Alexandra and what the residents did there?
Actually not, my dear sister. This thing has been an ongoing negotiations ever since from 2017, you understand. What is actually our problem here? It is to be electrified in informal settlement, Bekkersdal. If you can ask me for typical example, our informal settlement was established in 1987. I'm talking about places like Silver City, Sport Town, the Exing. Then the place our leader decided to electrify, which is Zenzel, was only established in 2003. Is that fair to us as South African residents? You understand?
Tell us, what are the living conditions like in Bekkersdal with the lack of electricity?
My dear sister, it's bad. For typical example, you can't find any student having acquired maybe at least one distinction. And the problem is one, how can you study without electricity? Today's education, you need internet in order to complete your projects. How do you do that? We are stuck, guys. There's no development at all for Bekkersdal informal settlement.
What do you want from government? We are going into an election. What government are you going to elect, and who is running Bekkersdal? What are they doing? Who are your councillors?
Okay. Currently, as we speak, our ward is #1 in Gauteng. For ANC. They voted for ANC in 2014. We are #1. Nah, don't mistake me. Now, point number 2 is this. Nah, we don't want government to come and give us empty promises because of what? Early February, let me say later January, the MMC was here from Gauteng. Makura was here. Lebomaile was here. Our Mayor Mzikumalo was here. They came, assembled the residents of Bekkersdal, and they told us before Good Friday, 1,500 squatter camp shacks will be electrified. But did that happen up until today? We don't even have a site construction. They only brought a fence, you understand, demarcating what? Their site construction. It has been empty promises ever since up until today.
So are you still going to vote ANC as residents of Bekkersdal?
You know, according to what's going on right now, as you can see, I don't think so, my dear sister. But as you know, a vote is someone's secret. I can't confirm that one. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I understand you also wanted to say something. Tell me, how is it like living in Bekkersdal? Boasi Sotho mama. Ke eng bothata mo ko Bekkersdal?
Bothata ke motlakase. Re batla motlakase. E sale ba re tshepisa motlakase since 83 re dula mekhukhu. A re fumane motlakase. Bankgono ba rena re na le bankgono ha ba fumane motlakase ha ba fumane dintlu di a rekisiwa ko masepala kwa batho ha ba fumane dintlu tsa bona ba dingwadisitswe ha o ya gore ke mathata mara ha go voutiwa go tliwa mo rona re banka ka dikoloi mayor o tlile last year re mmotsitse di-question a zanga raraba so re batla motlakase re batla le dintlu tsa rona. Le service delivery, the toilet ke tsa di tletse di boko di a tswa mo di toilet a batla ba tlo re thusa re kopantho fela.
All right. That sums it up, Marcel. As you can hear, it is a service delivery protest, not necessarily sparked by what happened in Alexandra, but we do understand, of course, that there was a call made by SAFTU that all townships that, like Alexandra, join in, because it seems that it is only around election season where we see politicians coming out to actually respond to these communities. So I'm going to ask Linge to just pan and show you that the police are definitely not going to allow these residents to march any further. They've got their rubber bullets seemingly ready to go, but at this stage it doesn't seem as though the residents are going to get any much further than they have right now. So it seems we are basically stuck right here in the middle of the R28, and of course the police have advised that motorists avoid the area. As you can see, we do have a march that is underway.
Thank you so much for that. Slindelo Masikane reporting to us live there from Bekkersdal, where protesters have taken to the streets.